Hello and welcome to yourlocalnote.com, and we are having another vidcast. Happy to have Andorra back with us in the studio. They have a new album out we're going to be talking about and featuring a couple songs off of that. We'll be doing that in just a couple minutes. Quickly want to remind you, with the vidcast, we like to keep it free. I think that's a great price. So what happens then is we run some commercials, and they'll run one at a time, and it's 10, 15, 30 seconds, and then it comes back to our interview here. So please have patience and understand why we're doing this. It's so we can keep the price at zero. So we thank you for that. Also, we are streaming 24/7. We have a free app. Just go to the respective stores, download the app at YLN. Just type in YLN, download it for free. All right, let's get going here with Andorra. We'll speak with them in a couple minutes, but we're at the first song off their album, etc., etc., etc. The song is called Habits on yourlocalnote.com.
Drop me like a bad habit, and how do I forget that? Drop me like a bad habit, how do I forget that? What you mean to me, sincerely, got the best of me, but it means nothing now, 'cause you drop me like a bad habit, and how do I forget that? Drop me like a bad habit, and how do I forget that? Like a bad habit, how do I forget that? Drop me like a bad habit, how do I forget that?
called Habits, and the album is etc., etc., etc. The band is Andorra. This is yourlocalnote.com. We've got Kevin and Sam from Andorra dropping by to talk about the album, but actually I need to be corrected on this, right,
Yes.
Kevin?
Yes.
Okay, please correct me. Habits now is not part of etc., etc., etc.
Yes. Rather than releasing it as a single or anything like that, we thought it'd be a fun way to kind of celebrate Record Store Day, which is this Saturday. So we wanted to have a special release for that day. So we cut this at a live session we did at the studio in our school, and we said, well, let's release it Record Store Day, and that's what we wanted to do.
Good job. And Sam did the
Yes,
mixing?
Sam.
Mastering,
Yeah.
Nice. It sounds really good.
Thank you.
Good job on that. I hope is that a project that you hand in and the professor has to grade you?
No, not even.
No, because I tell you, if the professor
Just
doesn't
for
give you an
fun.
A, I would be pissed.
Actually, for our final recording project, we're recording an actual studio version of the Have Habits.
Oh, okay. Very
So
nice.
we will be handing that in.
Okay, so this song is not part of etc., 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 but it is part of another project.
Yes.
And you do a lot of creative things around your music. It's just
Yeah.
not let's play music and then put an album together
Yeah.
and then go from there. So Record Store Day, give us a little background on what that is.
Well, I know that Dave Grohl is the record store ambassador for
Oh,
this
really?
year. So
Okay.
Fun fact.
So is this something to promote record stores?
Yeah, I mean it's kind of like a not really well-known holiday kind of thing, I guess.
A holiday?
I guess
So
it's
that's what we need is another holiday.
Yeah,
for
why not?
people. Government workers can take that off.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's basically like support your local record store,
Mhm.
pick up some records, some
Sure.
CDs, stuff like that.
So is this song on a vinyl or is it just on a CD?
No, we're just releasing it digitally,
Okay.
this Saturday. It's only going to be up for this Saturday because we're going to take it down and post the actual recording of it. This was a live recording of this song
Okay.
as well.
How did you find out about Record Store Day?
That was a while ago. I think it was. I remember Josh Homme was the Record Store Day ambassador, and,
Okay.
and he posted a video on one of his band's YouTube channels and was
Okay.
kind of explaining it basically.
Okay.
And I kind of just really liked the concept, and so I kind of
Very
wanted
cool.
to take it
No,
next step.
it makes sense. I'm
Yeah.
glad you told us about that. All right, let's go to the song Habits. Listening to it, one of my comments was, "Gee, this is angry, Kevin."
Yes.
Is this you wrote this song?
Yeah.
And is this a song that you were just pissed off when you wrote
Yeah.
it
This
at
is
the
a
time?
breakup song
A
material.
breakup song, okay. And I take it you didn't do the breakup.
Oh, no,
You
yeah,
were the
yeah.
one getting dumped.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm familiar. So you wrote this, and it's just a way to work out your...
Yeah, this I remember specifically feeling like I need to really write a song specifically, like based off of how I really feel.
Mhm.
So I mean I really got out emotions that I was kind of holding in with
Right,
this song. So
right.
through this song, I really let a lot of stuff out.
You do that a lot. I mean, you seem like a laid-back guy,
Nah.
and so you keep everything inside, and then
Yeah.
you use that to generate your music.
Yeah,
Okay, that's nothing wrong with that. I mean, that's just the way you are.
I'm a sensitive guy.
A
deep
sensitive
down.
guy. Okay, yeah. So with that, did the breaking up? Did they know that you wrote this song about them?
First of all, I hope my girlfriend doesn't hear any of this.
Oh, your current girlfriend.
Yeah. Hopefully, she
Okay.
didn't see the stream or
So
anything.
next
Yeah.
time you're
Yeah.
a song or you're pissed off
Yeah.
at me.
Well, maybe she'll come in and she'll show you her song. But
That's funny.
no, I mean we don't really speak anymore. So.
Okay, that's come out very understandable.
Yeah.
I don't think I in my life
Yeah.
after the relationship usually we never spoke, so I definitely can relate to that. Very cool. All right, so now let's talk a little bit about the album, etc.,
Sure.
etc., etc. Now, Sam, you came in after the album was done.
Yeah, it was completely about to be released, and I came in. He asked me. I played my first show, like the album release show was the first show I played with him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you had to learn the music very quickly.
Yep.
How difficult was that?
It wasn't extremely difficult. I'm not saying Kevin's like a bad writer, bad guitar player. Absolutely not, or anything. But
Okay.
I mean, he has a particular like writing style. Like a lot of the songs are written in threes. Like the one 6 a.m. Like there's 3 different parts of the verse, and it's
Right.
really not typical. Like the song "Turn Me," which is on the album, has the second verse goes on for like really odd amount of measures, so that was kind of like hard to learn.
Okay.
Some of that kind of stuff, but I liked adding like. I kind of learned the songs from him. I didn't like listen to the album that much.
You guys were friends
so.
before
Yeah,
you joined
yeah.
the band.
Yeah, and
Okay.
I like adding like live. I'll add my own parts to it or my own kind of embellishments that I thought sound pretty cool. And
Okay.
seems to like it.
So it was something where you needed a guitar player.
There was an open mic, and he performed a Steve Vai cover, and I was like, "Damn, that guy can play!" So
Okay.
I hit him up about it, sent him some music to see if he was interested, and
Okay.
he was, and kind of hit it off ever since.
And it's cool that he can mix and master too. That
Oh yeah, that helps a lot.
That's a big bonus.
Yeah.
And that's great to keep yourself. You got to be versatile. In this day and age, it pays. You just can't. I mean, I'm just going to play the drums and that's it. It's just different. So that's very cool. All right, let's do this. Let's talk about. Let's play the next song, and then when we come back, we'll talk about that and talk a little bit about the album and producing it and all that other good stuff. Okay. The song is called "Tell Me Father." It's from the album Etc. Etc. And this is yourlocalnote.com.
I'm living with an amputee. Delicate and bittersweet. Either one, I can't seem to meet. It hangs around, it's hung from a hook. The girls they stare, they give these looks. And everybody's got something to say. It bothers me more every day.
The song is called Tell Me Father. The album is etc., etc., etc. The band is Andorra. We've got Kevin and Sam hanging with us. We really appreciate them joining us. All right, Kevin, Tell Me Father. What is this about?
Tell Me Father is a song about my dad.
Okay.
Um,
You're talking, giving him a message, or no? I mean, sometimes.
Hi, Dad.
Well, you know, sometimes it's hard to communicate with your dad.
Kind of a lot of the ideas, I guess, revolved around that, but not so much between my dad and
just
me
in
and
general.
my dad.
Just in general.
But yeah. It was more so kind of a song. I guess we talked about this before, where you kind of figure out your song. I kind of figure out what my songs mean after the fact.
Right.
So I kind of realized that maybe the song wasn't about my relationship with him, but maybe it was a song about his relationship with his father.
Because the generations change.
Yeah,
It's amazing when you, like, for example, my dad very rarely talks about his dad, my grandfather, who passed away when I was like 7 years old. I didn't even really know him that much. He'd but he came over from the Ukraine, and with a third grade education, and started working right away. That was it. And then he developed a drinking problem, and my dad moved around a lot when he was younger. My dad has never, ever, ever badmouthed his father, but but when he speaks about him, there's a certain, I guess, he feels bad for his father, that he was that happened to him in his life.
Yeah.
But my father has never said a bad word about my grandfather. Yeah. So the relationships are different. My father and me, we have our relationships were when I was your age in college, and it was just bang bang bang. We just did not get along at all. To the point my father said to me, "Hey, do us a favor for Thanksgiving, don't come." So that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But now it's a great relationship. I talk to him about every different things as far as business, sports, everything. Yeah. So it just evolves.
Yeah. Well, my dad and I are very close, and it's funny that we also bring this up, that we're kind of polar opposites in the way where he's like he was the athlete, and then like I'm the musician. So
sure.
there's that, and it's funny because like you would think that from I guess media and stuff like that somebody like that would be like, oh, like what a disappointment, you're but he's not, though, which is amazing, because we connect on so much more than you would think, because everything kind of goes hand in hand with each other. And
it's not a surprise to me, because as an athlete, and I played sports.
I'm sorry for laughing.
That I played sports.
Pew pew.
Wow. Damn. Nice. That's even harsher than he's ever said.
Back in my day, when we played sports,
we didn't have any shoes, and we ran uphill both days, and it snowed even in July. So, but anyway, I played sports in high school and college. Lacrosse is what I played.
Yeah.
So, but the work that you put in as an athlete is very similar as far as the time and dedication you have as a musician. You have to play, you have to write, you have to do all this stuff. Yeah. So I'm not surprised that your dad sees what you're doing and respects it because of the time and effort.
And that's exactly what we connect on. It's he usually says, do your talking on the field, and I take that as leave everything you have on the stage. So
exactly.
Yeah, that's how we connect.
Excellent. Well, that's very cool. Let's talk about, because we had a really good conversation while Tell Me Father was playing. And the album, you had it produced where?
We had it produced at a home studio called Cardinal Recordings with our friend Mike Weiser.
Nice.
And it was a really cool setup where we were basically helping him pay off things for his wedding, because he needed the money, so he was recording bands out of his basement, and we helped him out with the wedding. So that was a cool little story for the album.
But that's smart business.
No, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
I mean, and this is what needs to be done. You need to take a look at your situation, and here you're able to use your skills, and he used his skills, and you both solved problems.
Yeah, and it was fun. It wasn't like it was a tedious task. Like, him and I are really good friends now.
Okay, so you knew what you were getting into, and it wasn't like so you felt comfortable with him producing your
Well,
music?
well, not at first. I think the first song that we cut from the album was "Ain't Into Shame It," and it was funny because, our drummer Jordan, he had kind of connections with him prior to all of this through his older brother, and he's the type of person that really looked up to his older brother, and his older brother really looked up to these people. So these people were kind of just like legends to him. So working with him was. I think for Jordan to speak on his behalf, working with Mike was just a really awesome experience for him because he was in a band and he kind of looked up to this guy, the way he played drums and stuff like that. So it was really like a big kind of experience for him, and same for me because I remember back in the day when MySpace was cool, we used to check out these guys' music on MySpace and stuff like that.
You're getting old, Kevin.
Yeah.
Way back when MySpace was.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
So
okay, so it was a good experience.
yeah, no, but I mean, it was intimidating at first because we looked up to these guys
Right.
in a big way, and then I remember the first time I actually sang, I blew my voice out the night before at a show, so it was kind of like a little embarrassing because I couldn't really sing at my fullest potential. So,
Right.
but after that, I mean, it really wasn't a big deal. I was making it more of a big deal than it was, but we've kind of become really good friends ever since. So.
Well, now you're when talking before, actually during the song, you've got more music.
Yes.
You're working on another project.
Yes.
You write a lot. You like to write.
Yeah.
Will you go back to these guys, or will you take a look at someone else just for a different experience?
We have plans to do this all ourselves because at the time we didn't really have, I guess, the materials to really put this together ourselves. And now we have somebody like Sam who can produce and mix himself. So, I mean, we might as well do it all ourselves.
Okay.
So we definitely learned through this first experience that there are maybe less expensive ways to go about this.
Sure.
We're going to take that option this time around.
I think that's a good thing to do because it's a different learning experience. It'll be good for Sam.
Yeah.
It'll be good for you to do this. And then I think you should take every album or every song that you're doing on a case-by-case basis.
Yeah.
And if you want to move on to something else and just try something different, because I think you can learn with each experience.
Exactly, yeah.
Now, we touched on this, and I've talked about this a lot, and you and I have talked about this the last time we were there, and we were talking about it while Tell Me Father was playing, about singles versus albums. And I know you guys like albums. I would have to say, I'm leaning more towards singles. I think it's a singles type of world right now. And you and I were talking about it, and I gave you talked about certain things. One was to, if you really like the album, release a song every month or every 2 months type of stuff.
Yeah.
And you were telling me I've got to come back to that.
Yeah.
So let's. I just wanted to give a little synopsis, but I wanted to give you your due. The microphone's all yours, Kevin. I don't want to put any pressure on you, but have at it.
Well, one of the first times I was here, I think I was here with Michael Trichecki, and you said something along the lines of, well, is recording an album really worth it anymore?
Right.
And I was like, yes, because I'm in the middle of recording an album.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it has to be worth it for me.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think that we like to take the approach to albums because, like you said, that it's becoming a very EP-esque world.
Even a singles world.
Even singles. But for us, I think the thing that we've been seeing is that maybe it's an issue with money or materials or production, whatever it may be. I think that it's kind of like a weak thing for me. Like, I look at that and I'm kind of like, I wish there was more to this. I wish there was some more meat on this, so I just think, like, people that not to say that, but I think that it's weak. I wanted more. I always
That's
wanted
your perception,
more.
and that's not right or wrong.
Yeah.
This is not a right or wrong conversation. It's, here's what we're finding out. Here's what we're hearing from other people.
Yeah.
I throw it out because one of the things we like to do is to try to tell you guys what we're hearing from other bands and other musicians,
right,
and to share it with you so you can take that, and as you go along, maybe it fits, maybe it doesn't.
Yeah.
So that's basically why I bring this up and talk about it.
And I think, and we're really good friends with the guys in RFA. We talked about that before, but when they were here, I remember hearing them say something along the lines of, eventually, definitely our main goal is to put out an album.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that for every band that has ever put out a single or an EP, the main focus is to release an album.
And I get that.
Yeah.
And I like albums. I grew up on albums, So I'm not sitting here saying you guys are wrong. I'm just saying that are you fighting against a trend right now?
I think that was half of it. I think we didn't want to go with the flow with the album. I think we wanted to just kind of branch off and do our own thing because we're not the type of people that really just we're leaders, I think, and I think that we wanted to do our own thing. And this was a process that took longer than a year and a half. I think that's the time we spent recording this album. But these songs are revamped songs that we've had for years now. And I think the idea with doing this was put everything out that we've done because we've had so much material that it was like we might as well put everything out that we do have. So might as well give them more than less.
Okay.
So that was kind of our thought process with this. And also we also went into this thinking like, we're not in this to, we know that we're not going to make millions of dollars off of this release or anything like that. This was really based off of this. We really just wanted to get as much experience as possible.
It's a learning process.
This. Yeah, and we just want to be heard.
Right.
So we did take a hit, obviously, with some of the money that we put into this, but that was really our idea. We just wanted to be heard as much as possible. So, that's why we chose to put our stuff on Spotify and iTunes, Bandcamp, anywhere. So that was our idea going into this. So
okay, it's cool. And the band is sort of unanimous on this. Then I know Sam, you were right along with Kevin as far as
something
I'm an album person.
Something I wanted to say. I noticed a lot of it's more local bands I see putting out singles and EPs. I haven't seen many big artists like multi-platinum artists putting out albums. And usually they'll promote that single and push it, and then people buy the album along with it.
But the problem, and my counter to that, I should say, is it doesn't matter, who's doing it. For the most part, CD sales are down.
Yeah.
So people the big artists are doing it. But the record companies are scratching their heads because they're not making as much money because the CDs, people aren't buying CDs like they used to buy them. So, again, I'm throwing this out so you guys know what's going on there. So you can, as you progress, you can say, you know what, maybe we can try this. Maybe we can try that.
Yeah.
The thing I respect what you said and you're echoing is we're doing what we believe is right.
Yeah.
And I would never, ever say, don't do that. If that's what you guys firmly believe in, go for it. Yeah. And but I just like to throw out information.
Yeah. I think that there's also somewhat of a craft in putting together an album also. Like if you listen to older Radiohead albums, the way those albums flow is just an experience, I think. So I think we really focused in on that also. I think that we really wanted to kind of create an experience like that we had when going through and making this album too. So, and the thing that you can't really do when you release EPs and singles is that if you notice our album, we have a song called "The End," and that's the last song on our album. So, you couldn't really put that in context in an EP or a single setting because. What is the end? It's just the song. So not to say that was the whole basis of the album or anything like that, but it was just a really neat way to go with the album and the flow of the album. So
okay, we're gonna flow into the third song.
Flow right into it.
Gotta do that. That's the radio guy in me doing that. So we're gonna play the third song for tonight. Then we're gonna come back because I've got a question for you guys in regards to what you just talked about, and I've got more information I want to share with you and get your thoughts on it.
Cool.
The song is called Wired, and we're hanging out with Kevin and Sam from Andorra, and we're talking about their latest album. It's called Etc. 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 And this is yourlocalnote.com.
redundant.
The band is Andorra. The song is called Wired, and we're talking to them about their latest album. It's called Etc. 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 And having a great conversation with Kevin and Sam as we're talking about the music world. We're talking about their album. Let's talk about this song, Wired, first, and then we'll get back to what's going on in the music industry and what you guys are seeing, and we'll go from there. Wired. What do we got here, Kevin?
Wired. Well, going back to the idea of the whole flow of the album and everything like that. Yeah. This was also kind of our chance, at least in my eyes, kind of like a bucket list of all these things that I wanted to do on the album. And this song in particular features a theremin. I don't know if you guys know what a theremin is, but
good. You can see the blank look on my face. That's great.
Theremin's like, have you ever seen like? I know you're old, so.
Damn. Wow.
Like scary movies from, I guess, like black and white scary movies. They always had the
not that old, you son of a bitch. No. Yeah. Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
So that noise is the first sound that happens on this track. So, like I said, like it was kind of a thing that I always wanted to feature on a song. So
right.
Had it on the song.
Very cool. That's very cool. Even making fun of me. I know Mike he loves it. It's like great. Okay, so Sam, you're hearing all these songs. Are you and you're new to the band, and you're going to get into the songwriting process and stuff like that, and obviously mixing and mastering. Are you just collecting ideas for what you want to do as far as suggestions eventually when you get your opportunity to do that?
For a producing video?
Yeah, well, just for the producing of the songs, the making of the songs in general.
Yeah, I mean, I like a lot of the songs, like, I just want to add, like, lead guitar parts, because I'm, like, the typical lead guitar player.
Okay.
I mean, I've been playing guitar for 11 years, so
right.
I have a lot of influence from, like, progressive rock,
right.
rock and roll /
sure.
Steve Vai, stuff like that, so I just want to add, like, more, like, leady kind of instrumental parts in it, I guess, that are like more than chords or more than stuff like that.
Right.
But more well written and composed parts.
Sure.
Kind of.
And is that's as you said, you saw him at an open mic night, and that's the first thing that stood out.
Yeah.
So you felt like, okay, this is going to be a really good addition to the band.
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't have this in mind when we picked him out, but I knew that there were songs that I was like, we can definitely use his skill set on these songs.
Okay, very, very cool. All right, now we've been talking about just the the industry in general, and we were mentioning, millennials. That's your age group. Millennials are, anyone born from 1977 to 1997, and the group after 97, they're called plurals. I don't make this stuff up. I'm just, passing this up. I'm like, okay, you had baby boomers, Generation Y, Generation X, millennials, and now plurals.
Okay.
Everyone has to have a name right now. And Kevin's name for me is Old Man. So what are your peers saying to you? I mean, you obviously in the music industry, you guys are doing this. You've got to be talking to friends who are not musicians to try to get ideas of what to do with music. Do you do that? Do you try to challenge people and say, hey, what are you guys listening to? What do you like? What don't you like? And things like that? Or you're just too busy to do that?
Well, it's kind of hard for us, I think, because we're...
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say, we go to an art school, so a lot of kids there listen to indie alternative stuff.
Right.
So especially where we are, we don't know what's mainstream really, because a lot of kids don't do mainstream stuff.
Okay.
So it's hard for us, or for me at least, to judge. I mean, you're outside because I live on campus, so I'm always surrounded by you. Live on campus.
I agree 100%. It's hard to really, for at least definitely our with the people that we're always surrounded by at school. It's hard to kind of. I guess in a way where it's kind of like, maybe people might think, and I might be going off track here a little bit, but somebody might think that might not like our music because it's not their style, or so it's hard to really kind of get people to really talk about that or what they like, because it's kind of like, oh, I don't want to be offensive, but I don't really like your music, but so we're kind of doing our own thing, I think.
Okay.
And just like the album, I think that we don't really care what people have to say or what they think. We kind of just want to do what we do, and yeah.
Okay, no, and that makes sense. But I mean, at the same time, the reason is because we've got a site here, and I'm trying to appeal to as many people as possible. And you go to seminars, you try to learn and gather as much information as possible. So, and this is part of also gathering information from you guys.
I think everybody's different too. I think the way that I listen to music is definitely not the way Sam listens to music. I think it's not the way you guys listen to music. Same with people on campus, off campus, whatever. Like I said, I just picked up 2 CDs at FYE today, and I'm going to listen to them in my car because I spend the majority of my time in the car, so as well just plug it in.
Are you going to tell us what you bought? Or
I bought...
Are you embarrassed?
No, I bought...
New Kids on the Block or something like that?
I bought some Sugar Ray. I bought a CD called Lieutenant. It's Nate Mendel's solo project. It's kind of like a... I guess like an Interpol kind of feel from what I got from it. And then the other thing I bought was a Dr. Dog CD, an older CD. It was only $70.
And why do you just wanted to check them out?
Well, I mean, that's kind of the way I want to go about music now, because I think that we're kind of in a world that's very consumer heavy, obviously. So I mean, we had a conversation with one of the people in our program and said, I just pick up CDs based off of their artwork and see if I like it. And, I mean, I just want to get my ears to listen to anything, really. So
that's I mean, obviously, again, you made a good point about, someone in your class, your programs, they're more like you.
Yeah.
So it's not the mainstream. And because artwork on albums, I used to look at all the different artwork, and some of it would be like, really, wow, that's cool, and some of it would be like, what is this? Type of thing, and that could turn me off from an hour. I look at that, okay, that's weird. Okay,
yeah, but at the same time, I think that might be a generational thing that you might say, what is this? I'm not listening to this. Where I can be like, what is this? I'm listening to this.
This is cool.
So yeah,
and it goes back to what I was talking about. I think between the songs about as far as being a program director of a radio station, which I've done for many years. You don't program to your taste.
Yeah.
You try to find out what people want, and that's again the approach I take here. So interesting stuff that you've passed along. Let's talk about where people can find your music.
Okay. We have our album, et cetera, on iTunes, Spotify, and it's on our Bandcamp at andorramusic.bandcamp.com. You can get it for free, a free download on that Bandcamp site. And that's where you can check out all of our digital releases, because we'll probably put everything on that site. So
excellent. You are not playing right now live anywhere.
No, we are.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I got the wrong impression when we were talking before, because you're gonna play, but you're gonna try to play even more during the summer when school's done.
Yeah, we're trying to set up a couple mini tours, like go out in the weekends and kind of just play the weekends, because we have work during the week.
I understand.
So.
Gotta pay bills.
Yeah.
All right. Any shows coming up then?
Yeah. We have a show this Friday at Chaplin's Cafe
Okay.
in Spring City, and this Sunday we got into Radio 104.5's top 25 bands
Nice.
to open up for their birthday show.
Congratulations.
In the summer. Thank you. We made it to the Final Four round as of recently, and
Cool.
we made it along with our friends in RFA, Foxtrot in the Get Down, and Modern Suits. So
Nice.
we have a fatal four-way coming up on Sunday. So see who gets to play the show.
Where is that at?
That is in Ben Salem at 360 Parks Casino. So,
Oh, okay. Oh, at the casino.
Yeah.
Very cool. That's a good place to play.
yeah, we saw the pictures and everything's made of gold, so
I-
it looks sweet to me. So.
I've been there. Not that I do a lot of gambling,
Yeah.
but oh, look at you guys. No, but it is. You'll like it.
Yeah.
It's a really neat place to play. Good sound. A lot of fun. So good luck with that.
Thank
So
you.
it's
Thank you very
this Sunday.
This Sunday, yes.
Okay. Very cool. All right. Best of luck. Let us
Thank
know
you.
how you do.
Yeah.
All right.
We will.
And then keep us up to date on shows, so we can get it up on our site.
Sure.
And let's see. We're gonna wrap things up.
Awesome.
We're gonna wrap it up with the end.
The end.
All right.
That's good.
Tell us about it.
Well, I was really kind of influenced by a lot of prog bands at this time.
Mhm.
Also, Band on the Run by Paul McCartney.
Yes, I'm very familiar with
yes,
that. Okay.
old timer.
Every chance he gets.
Mike, he's never coming back. No, I'm kidding. Go ahead.
But yeah, I mean, just if you look at that song from a format kind of setting, it never repeats. It never
Nope.
goes back to a chorus or anything like that. So I was like, I want to write a song like that. So
Yeah, it's a cool song. It's a cool album.
yeah,
Actually,
I love that album.
Yeah,
It's a great album.
I mean, it's got and I'm not a solo Paul McCartney. Not a huge fan of his solo
Okay.
stuff.
But that album's great.
That album I thought was great.
Yeah.
And he never really turned out anything like that again, which I thought was disappointing. But who am I? The guy's knighted. He's
Yeah, you're entitled to your opinions.
Yeah. You know what they say about opinions. But that I agree with you. It's a great album. All right, very cool. Kevin, Sam, great to meet you. Kevin, as always, great having you in.
Thank you for having me.
Despite the disrespect. No, I'm kidding. When you have another project, obviously, let us know. So
We will.
Bring it in. And keep us up to date on the other project you were doing with the drawings and the video documentary,
Yes,
right?
we're putting together real quick. It's a documentary because the way we kind of like to experience our songs, we like people to kind of make up their own interpretation of the songs rather than us tell people about it.
Right.
So we had 4 artists come in and to a show, and they drew their interpretations while we performed our album in its entirety, and it was all documented for a small little documentary. So
when is that going to be out?
it's being finished and edited now, so we'll get a release date over to you guys
Please
as soon
do.
as possible.
Yeah, because I'd love to check that out. All
Sure.
right.
Sure.
Very cool. All right, real quickly, want to remind you we have another live vidcast coming up fairly soon. I'm going to be actually out of town next week, visiting in-laws and family, all that good stuff. Just to let them know that I'm still alive and why they really don't like me being. No, I'm only kidding. So we're going to have another vidcast live vidcast in about 2 weeks. But we have more vidcasts coming your way, so keep it right here on yourlocalnote.com to see who will be up next. And of course, we stream 24/7, free app. Just download it at the respective stores. Type in YLN, download it for free, and take yourlocalnote.com with you anywhere you go. All right, guys. Again, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
And we're wrapping things up with "End" from the album, etc., etc. This is the band Andorra.